It's the middle of summer, and it has been really hot on the homestead.
On t'a déjà dit que t'étais belle, mais ça c'est sûr, moi je t'apprends rien. Tous ces hommes qui s'essayent, qui arrivent pas à leur fin, je te regarde mais je comprends rien. Je sais pas pourquoi je t'évite, je suis conscient que tu te fais écœurer. Je suis dernier sur la liste, y'en a d'autres avant moi. Je te regarde puis je suis toute mêlée.
Luckily, we've had a lot of rain, so the plants are able to find some relief without having to hand water them. Because we've had such intense heat so quickly in the season, some of my plants started to bolt. I let them flower and go to seed. The bees love them, and I knew I could save the seeds for future use.
I could be the one to make you love. I have in the past, now that's a start. I could be the one to make you smile. I have and I keep each one on fire. I stare into my own crystal ball. I stare too hard and it's shattered on the floor. But each broken piece does still reflect the infinite and the possible and the rest. I guess it is time to tell you you're in my dreams.
We try to be very efficient on the homestead, always looking for ways to become more sustainable and be prepared in the event we are no longer able to rely on the local resources, such as water and electricity. While we now have rainwater collection tanks installed on our homestead to provide us an additional water source, we knew we had to start thinking about alternate power sources as well. We purchased solar panels and portable battery backups that could charge many small devices in our home.
These will be replaced with better, more robust plants. These are a bit thin. So here we go. Do 12.5 charge. We'll plug in the solar now. Have a charged battery, and we have a power inverter inside that will hook up to the battery, and we can use that for our power outlets and use it to power whatever kind of devices that we need. So, let me go get that and I'll show you. So this will hook up to pretty much any battery, and you can get your outputs here. So you've got, I think we have 4 outlets here that we'll be able to use on any battery. This is our Jackery 1000. This actually powers a good deal of our power tools outside. Very handy. The problem with our current solar panels and its setup and this is the input. So when it comes to the Harbor Freight solar panels, it has a much smaller DC. Won't go in here, so I have to buy an adapter.
Sunlight is so important for our health, but during the colder months, it's not as easy to get my daily dose of sun. I had been wanting an infrared sauna for a long time, and finally purchased a unit from Sauna Space that is EMF free. Instead of spending a couple grand more for their enclosure, we decided to build our own. This is my first garden season, so I'm learning what works and what doesn't. I'm also constantly seeking ways to make this homestead more efficient. One of the things I know I need to consider is how I water the garden. Right now, my husband and I have been walking back and forth between the garden and the rain barrels, using watering cans to water everything. While I'm not usually bothered by the manual labor, it's the amount of time it takes that has me considering other options. So we're looking at purchasing a pump for the water tank that will give us more pressure to efficiently use a hose and sprayer. Another thing I'm researching is a way to manually pump water from the creek. Ultimately, I'd like to find a way to pump the water without the use of electricity. So that's something I'm currently exploring. Any help and advice you can give us would be greatly appreciated. Homesteading is a lifelong journey, one that I am most excited about. With it comes its own set of challenges, but I have quickly discovered how big the homesteading community is, and it continues to grow. Everyone is excited and so giving with their knowledge and support. It gives me hope that this world is shifting and that more and more people are seeking alternate ways of living. Returning to our roots, reconnecting with nature, and living off the land, much like our ancestors did. No longer depending on the system to sustain us, but rather supporting one another to collectively create a better life. As more and more people decide to pursue this path, I can only imagine what the world will be like in the future. Transformed, full of life, love, and possibility.